to all of the new subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys coming in. A lot of you are very big on tech stuff. I do some gaming streams on the downtime, programming here and there, most of the time, honestly. And when I get a headache from programming, I do a couple of game processes there and maybe go over a game that's pretty cool, or do some competitive online. You can watch me basically stream my adventures. But I want to appreciate all the new subscribers. And, most of you guys are techies. I'm your basically neighborhood friendly technician, computer technician. Normally, my family uses me for all kinds of computer stuff. My computer is slow. It doesn't do this. It doesn't do that. Help me out. And I've always been happy to help, at least for the case scenario that any video that I create, I end up helping one person. I feel like that's enough. That's honestly enough. As a teacher as well, because I do educate in mathematics and programming. Um, it's really like when you go into a session for an hour with a student on a remote session and you connect, that's the limited is one person that you can help per hour. So when I do these videos and they do turn out to help out people, it's super great when I see one view, two views, 10 views, 100 views. And I just know that I've helped more with my time than a regular one-to-one session with an individual. So again, thank you for everyone that's subscribing, and let's get into the video. Today, I want to basically show you how you're going to, or how you could, if you wanted to, run any operating system. And this is very useful in most hardware nowadays. You buy a computer online and you have a basic graphics card. You don't even need a graphics card really, but even the processor itself is, really good nowadays within the last 5, 10 years. And it gives you an option to explore and for security's sake, have a virtual machine where you can use it as a regular computer, basically. And if anything ever happens to that part of that computer, it's completely isolated from your main system. So you just have to refresh the install. And then from there, you will just go about your business and you won't have your main computer affected. So I'll have to say, with the recent security issues all around the world, Russia, China, United States, Israel, all kinds of hackers and viruses and God knows what. It's always useful to have this skill as a technician, and it also helps you explore. It helps you look more into what's out there, not just the system that we use normally. As you can see right now, well, you can't really see my bar, but I mean, I'm running Windows. I have to run it basically for most of the software that I'm used to using. And honestly, I'm very close to replacing my Windows to a Linux system because nowadays Linux has been so improved that even games run on the local Linux system. So honestly, it's starting to look like I can move away from Windows the next time something potentially goes wrong. I'm just going to format the sucker and go straight to a Linux system. So, what do we need to run a virtual machine? Well, the first thing we're going to go for here is we need a virtual machine manager. So, what is this? Installation. And you can also install Windows as well. Now, we're looking for a specific type, so I'm not going to go into this just yet, but we might. Um, we're going to look for VirtualBox. There's a lot of different ones. There's Parallels, which is a paid version. But honestly, VirtualBox by Oracle has served every single purpose that I've ever needed it to do. So, in a sense, we just download this from here, the latest version, click download. Pick your host. So it's good to recognize that your host is your main system, the one installed on your hardware. So if you don't have a virtual machine, you're looking at your host right now. And when you install it, you have a guest, basically, a guest operating system. And that's going to run as the virtual system. So I've already got it installed, but if you do decide to go about it, go to virtualbox.org. It's a nonprofit open source system. You don't have to pay for this, and you basically click on your system here. If you have a Mac, it works as well. So honestly, you're not limited to just Windows systems. And it's really cool because you can actually run a Windows Linux system locally, and then as a host, and then you can do a Windows guest so that if you ever have any applications that you can't really run on Linux yet, you can run it as a guest system. So there's that. So that's it. So basically install that and let's take a look at what that would be then once we run the sucker. All right, there it is. So I've already got a couple of systems involved, right? I've actually got a Windows 7, a Windows 10 that's been filtered out for no telemetry, an XP, and even an Android. So you literally have the ability to run, I mean, honestly, whatever operating system. You're not limited to just Linux, for instance. If you want to play around with Android on your computer, boom, there it is. But what we're going to do today is we're going to run through some setups that we can use to basically get this set and have a new virtual system. So I'm going to focus on Linux, and there's a lot of options for Linux, but I'll give you my recommended one in a moment. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new system here. You can go ahead and name it anything you'd like. I just basically will put Linux. We will need ISO images. This is the type of, well, if you remember CDs back in the day when we used to use CDs and DVDs, there's a specific format for those physical mediums, and it's an ISO format. So we could, and we have, and many people do indeed, make copies of those CDs, pure copies. They don't extract the files, they just copy the full structure. And that structure gets saved as an ISO image. One of the most versatile virtual images that you can use to back up any CD, DVD, old movies, all kinds of stuff without ruining any sort of DRM protections and any structural configurations of that particular DVD CD. Even if you're copying, let's say, Xbox games from the past, ISO is a great type of universal image you can use. So, first name, take a folder for basically where you want to store your virtual machine, and we're going to select a virtual. I don't think I have one currently, so we got to go find an image. Now, the best one I would say is going to be Linux Mint. This operating system is super light, very pretty, and for anyone that uses Windows especially, very easy to adapt to. So that's what we're going to run with. The first thing I'm going to do, and you do want to make sure you have enough space, so let me also check that. I'm running low on that space, so potentially it's going to be a bit difficult. I've got a lot of files on this sucker. So I'm going to probably have to clean up some space here, and